Trump fascist regime has taken control of the state National Guard over the objection of the governor. The Trump fascist regime is threatening elected officials with arrest if they get in the way of what is lawless defiance of constitutional rights. This is fascism. This is stuff right out of the playbook of Hitler and the Nazis. This is fascism. It is moving to neutralize sanctuary cities and states. It is moving to carry out without any restraint and in open defiance of the rule of law, the deportations of millions of immigrants. The Trump fascist regime's Secretary of Defense now threatens to deploy the Marines against the civilian population, against the civilian populace. This is a turning point that has to be met with rejection by everyone who treasures human lives and rights, everyone who does not want to see a world ruled by outright racist, white Christian nationalism, male supremacy, and the ugliest of American bullying and trampling over the rest of the world. We must not sit by while families are heartlessly broken up, while people are sent to concentration camp prisons, out of the country, while judges are threatened and even arrested for upholding the rule of law, and while Congress people are arrested and brutalized for objecting to gross illegality by these fascists. We must act with courage and with the aim to inspire others in their millions to come into the streets and demand this whole fascist regime must go now. The illegitimacy and atrocity of this needs to be met with our massive rejection by people who courageously show their collective strength and morality to say no, not in our name. The Trump fascist regime is an affront to humanity and to everything we hold dear. It must go now. Let it be said in the hour it counted most, in the hour that it counted most, that we did not let the world and the future down. That we rose to meet the challenge of our time and acted non-violently in our millions and tens of millions to make this fascist regime go now. In the name of humanity, say this with me. In the name of humanity. We refuse to accept a fascist America. So my name is Amina, A-M-I-N-A, last name Gonzalez, G-O-N-Z-A-L-E-S, with refusefascism.org. So next I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Frank Wolf. You should introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Frank Wolf. My first name is Frank, F-R-A-N-K. My last name is Wolf, W-U-L-F. I am the pastor of the La Plaza United Methodist Church, which is just about 100 feet away from where we are. And they want me to use the mic better. This is my home. This is our home. I serve a congregation of people here that is afraid. They're afraid because of what's happening in the city around us, and there's no reason why they should be afraid. We sent out a message last night to the members of our congregation that if they felt in any way unsafe and did not want to face the threats that are going on around us, that they should stay home, watch us on the internet. And so during the worship service today, we had kind of a bare church, but we knew that the people were there. They're there in spirit. And we're all there in resistance to what's going on in the society today, because we know that our brothers, our sisters, our siblings, our fathers, our mothers, our parents, our friends, our neighbors that have been detained, there's no reason why these good, hard-working, loving, compassionate people need to be treated in the way they're treated, why they need to be shipped out of this country, why they need to be jailed. There's no reason why the president of a major union needs to be imprisoned and injured by ICE. ICE is out of control. And the federal government is out of control because this is not their home, this is our home.
Yes.
And even if they say to us that federal law is supreme, this is our home. And our home is worth fighting for, our home is worth struggling for in whatever way we possibly can. We're going to do it peacefully. We're going to be strong, and we're not going to back down. We're going to resist, and we're going to say no. Those who've been detained need to be released.
That's right.
Those who are going to be detained need not to be detained. Right. ICE needs to stop. It needs to leave. And the National Guard needs to leave. And we need to be able to build the kind of country, the kind of culture, the kind of community that is the kind of community that we want, we need, that gives us life. And so I'm glad you're all here, and I'm glad you're resisting this fascist incursion into American life. The time has come.
That's right.
I shouldn't say you, I should say we. The time has come. You know, racism has been with us a long time, and it raises its head in every generation. We've had the Zoot Suit riots right here. We had the Rodney King riots. We had the riots after the Black Lives Matter protests. But they weren't riots, those were protests. The only people who did any rioting in those times were the people who were doing the arresting. And that's what's happening now too. So let's keep strong, let's keep firm, let's stay together. We protect one another. Nos protegemos uno a otro. Y juntos somos fuertes. Together we are strong. Y Trump, nosotros tenemos que quitarnos de Trump. Amen? Amen. We have to rid ourselves of Trump. The time is now. Thank you.
Okay, so I forgot to read the statements for the day. No National Guard in LA.
No National Guard in LA.
Immigrants are human beings.
Immigrants are human beings.
Stop the demonizing, deporting, and terrorizing of them.
Stop the demonizing, deporting, and terrorizing of them.
Stop the lawless deportations.
Stop the lawless deportations.
Due process and full rights for immigrants.
Due process and full rights for immigrants.
Free those detained.
Free those detained.
The Trump fascist regime must go now.
The Trump fascist regime must go now.
Okay, next I want to bring up Juan Jose, Gutierrez, who's gonna introduce himself.
Thank you, Amina. My name is Juan Jose Gutierrez. I'm the director of the Full Rights for Immigrants Coalition. And I am proud to be at this press conference and this action today because the last thing our communities in the Southland need is for the federal government to deploy military forces to put out the fires that they initiated. Our communities are not violent. The only violence that we have seen here was that was started by the ICE forces and the paramilitary forces that have been deployed already throughout our community. And we are now aware that 2,000 military personnel, National Guardsmen, have been deployed to the city of LA with the threat by our Secretary of Defense headset that he is ready to mobilize members of the U.S. Marine Corps from Camp Pendleton on an as-needed basis. Where are our armed forces? We are not armed. We are, the immigrant community, are working men and women that for decades have made our community strong. They work, they pay taxes, and they respect the law. Many of them, most of them, I would say, are people of faith, and they're being treated like terrorists, when in fact, they generate wealth, they pay taxes in this country that was created and built by immigrants from all over the country. We are part of that immigrant community that has made LA great, that has made the state of California the fourth largest economy on the world today, and the number one economy. So we have a message for President Donald Trump. Get the National Guardsmen out of here. Respect our constitutional right to due process. You cannot come into our communities, you cannot come into our working sites and randomly start going after working men and women, people that are walking on our sidewalks. You cannot do that. So we are demanding that you stop the violence. The only way we're gonna have peace in this city is if we get the troops out and we uphold the law. The only one that's not upholding it, the only one that's behaving as a dictator and as someone that wants to establish ASAP a fascist state is President Donald Trump and his administration. We've had enough of him. Thank you very much. Palabras en español rápidamente. La razón por la que estamos aquí el día de hoy, orgullosos de ser parte de esta coalición en contra del establecimiento del fascismo en los Estados Unidos, es porque eso es lo que estamos experimentando. El despliegue de tropas militares, 2,000 soldados de la Guardia Nacional en este momento, es una clara manifestación y demostración que aquí se está estableciendo un estado policíaco, un estado fascista. Lo que el pueblo trabajador de los Estados Unidos, incluyendo los inmigrantes, incluyendo los trabajadores inmigrantes indocumentados, necesitamos, no es represión, necesitamos derechos, necesitamos legalización para que se acabe el problema de los trabajadores indocumentados. Si el Congreso hiciera su trabajo, si el Congreso pasara una reforma migratoria que hemos pedido por cerca de 40 años y comenzar el proceso de legalizar a los trabajadores indocumentados y sus familias, ya no tendríamos problema y estaríamos comenzando a trabajar para resolver los verdaderos problemas de esta nación. Desempleo, alimentos carísimos, gasolina que no se puede pagar, no hay vivienda, el trabajo paga muy mal. Esos son los verdaderos problemas de este país. Hay que parar las guerras, hay que invertir en el ser humano de esta sociedad. Por eso la coalición Derechos Plenos para los Inmigrantes está muy orgullosa de unirse a este movimiento para parar el fascismo y crecerlo. Y me da mucho gusto que todas estas personas, hermanos y hermanas, estemos aquí, porque unidos vamos a triunfar y vamos a derrotar al fascismo. Muchas gracias.
¡Fuera Trump! 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 Okay, next I want to bring up Jaime Gutierrez, who's a civil rights attorney and who's going to give us some words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for being here. We collectively are standing in the face of fascism, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud to stand with you. My name is Jaime Gutierrez, that's Jaime. Last name Gutierrez, Gutierrez, as in zebra. I've been practicing 20 years as a civil rights attorney here in Los Angeles. As I speak, the National Guard and ICE are committing blatant constitutional violations in our streets. The First Amendment is under attack. Peaceful protest is labeled as insurrection. Legal observers harassed while documenting the abuses. The chilling effect on community is palatable. Fourth Amendment dead is in our neighborhoods. Warrantless home invasions by ICE agents. Military checkpoints in immigrant communities. Mass surveillance shared between LAPD and the federal forces. ICE is implementing a hit-and-run tactics terrorizing communities and families. The Fourth Amendment is betrayed as equal protection denied by Latino residents. due process violated in expedited deportations to El Salvador and South Sudan, state-sanctioned racial profiling at Home Depot. This is just policy disagreement. This isn't just policy disagreement. This is the architecture of fascism being constituted before our eyes. The blueprint of tyranny, they called John Lewis a rabble-rouser for demanding voting rights. They called Fred Karamazov resistance disloyalty. Today, they call them criminals for exercising their First Amendment rights to assembly and protest, asserting Fourth Amendment protection against unlawful seizure and search, demanding 14th Amendment equal protection under the law. Our Constitution demands immediate judicial review of all military civilian policing, federal injunction against warrantless ICE operations, Department of Justice civil rights investigations into the LAPD collaboration with ICE. To every constitutional officer, your oath binds you to act by public defenders, attorneys, file habeas corpus petitions for every detainee. Judges reject tainted evidence for illegal raids. Prosecutors drop charges against peaceful protesters. They came for the Japanese Americans in 1942. They came for Mexican Americans in the 1930s. They came for freedom riders in 1961. And they're coming for our immigrant communities today. We will litigate, we will organize, we will resist. Thank you.
All right, and then our last speaker I want to bring up is Luna Hernandez with the RevCom Corps for the Emancipation of Humanity.
Yeah, Luna.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luna. I'm with the RevCom Corps in Los Angeles. And right now, 500,000 or more immigrants who came here the right way, applied for asylum, and have been awaiting their hearings, are being called criminals, marked for expedited removal by the Trump fascist militarized agencies, suited up no differently than the IDF troops carrying out a genocide in Gaza. With the long arms and Darth Vader face mask now terrorizing immigrant communities. They are going after people working for a living, targeting workplace raids for the next 30 days in LA. They are claiming we are being invaded, but who invaded who?
That's right.
Why have people been forced to travel at great risk to their lives? Across the jungle of the Darien Gap and the deserts to get here. Because the predatory capitalist system has ruined the agricultural economies to assert dominance of export agriculture to the U.S. Because the U.S. is the #1 emitter of carbon into the atmosphere, creating environmental devastation and disasters, because the United States has intervened hundreds of times in the affairs of Latin American countries, from spying and proxy wars to major military invasions.
True.
It's this system that causes migration, and this system that has no answer for it other than building walls and mass deportations. And now, straight up fascism and ethnic cleansing. This is why we say the system that has fueled fascism has fueled this fascism out of the very soil and history of this country is totally rotten and illegitimate.
That's right.
That's right. We stand 100% behind this life and death fight to stop this fascism from consolidating. With the catastrophe this would mean for the immigrants who are the first and all those who will come after, whose rights will be stripped away, and the hell this will mean, perhaps for generations, and the existential threat this would mean to all of humanity. We stand united with people from many different perspectives and viewpoints, from Democrats trying to save the Constitution to those who know it has never provided for liberty and justice for all. That diversity is what is our strength. It is going to take uniting everyone who cares and doesn't want the world the fascists want to be the future. We also do it with hope. Hope that is real and scientifically based, understanding that not only the kind of system or world that is possible. If you don't believe me, you have to check out the Constitution for the new Socialist Republic in North America, authored by the revolutionary leader Bob Avakian, that has been written for how you could run an economy where the wealth that is created by those same people being exploited and deported could be used to provide for the basic needs of people. Capitalism has never met and never been about meeting the most basic needs of the 7 billion people on this planet Earth. This Constitution is different than any actual or proposed founding or guiding document of any government. Never before has there been anything with the protection but the provision for dissent and intellectual and cultural ferment that is embodied in the Constitution for the new Socialist Republic in North America. If you want to know how mass migration and immigration could be handled, it's in there. This is why I'm here, not just with the sense of dread, but of hope. And why so long as we are living under the rule of this system of capitalism imperialism, we in the RevCom Corps for the emancipation of humanity will defend people against attacks on their lives and on their rights that are supposed to be guaranteed under the U.S. Constitution. That's right. And that are now being decimated by an all-out fascism. ICE must go now.
ICE must go now.
Trump must go now.
Trump must go now.
No National Guard.
No National Guard.
Trump out now.
Trump out now.
The fascist Trump regime.
The fascist Trump regime
Must go now.
must go now.
That's right. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so before we end the formal process of the press conference, I just want to say a couple things. One, again, we are refusefascism.org. This, if you go to our website, you can find our call to conscience, our call to act. And I'm going to read a couple parts from that, because a lot of people have been saying this is fascism, but what does that actually mean? Fascism is a radically oppressive and repressive form of rule over the people of this country, with devastating impact on the people of the world. The rule of law is shredded. Civil and democratic rights are eliminated. Dissent is piece by piece criminalized. The truth is bludgeoned. Group after group demonized and targeted along a trajectory that leads to catastrophe. Is that not what we're seeing right now?
That's right.
So we do not accept their future, and there is a way to defeat this. This is why our call to conscience, we put forward this statement, this demand that Trump must go now, the Trump fascist regime must go now, because if millions of people in the streets filled the streets in nonviolent protests, not allowing business as usual when that business is cementing fascist rule with the vilest degrading morality shoved down our throats, many bodies and voices demanding the Trump fascist regime must go now. With this, we can and must create a political crisis in which the Trump regime cannot govern and implement their fascist program or even maintain their hold on power. And waiting for the next election will be too late. We must organize and struggle as we never have before. We must not allow ourselves to be divided and conquer. And we must unite all who can be united from many different viewpoints and perspectives, to foster and to draw on collective spirit of courage and righteous fury and willingness to make the necessary sacrifices for the greater good of defeating this fascism. We and our millions are a force powerful enough to defeat Trump MAGA fascism.
That's right.
Let the world see our determination and courage and hear our righteous demand. Put your fists in the air. The fascist Trump regime
The fascist Trump regime
must go now. The fascist Trump regime must go now. In the name of humanity. In the name of humanity. We refuse to accept a fascist America. All right, thank you very much. If the press has any questions, Juan Jose, myself, and Jaime are